Hello, it's your friendly neighborhood counselor, Dr. Will, and welcome to the Heal Always podcast, Wellness and Welcomes to you. I'm so excited that you get to see the actual practice of this healing modality, R.E.S.E.T. So remember in the beginning, we talked about how the world is in emotional homeostasis. Then we learned about the relationship. Then we learned about the relationship with self. Now that we're going through the emotional malignancies, we're going through the principles, we're going through internal reciprocity, and we're learning the lifestyle of self-mastery. This is a bunch of words, right? A bunch of definitions and terms that we went through, but it wouldn't mean anything unless you see it in practice. So I found two amazing people to come in and to go through the healing modality so they can see the difference between their motive and their purpose and how it aligns as healing as a lifestyle for them. And so they don't know much about what this is about, what I'm doing. They're just going to go with the flow of how I present myself, which is amazing. So before we get started, I want to just offer a space. Alien, please introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What is this?
Yes. Mostly everybody know me as Alien or Alien I Play or Alien Eyez, Mr. Alien Eyez Photos. But my name is Steven D. Jackson, author, all-around creator, entrepreneur. You know, a lot of things I can name, but that's how I kind of got the name Alien from the creative realm.
And the funny thing about this is that I didn't know you. I only knew your work. So I've always seen your work, but I never saw you. So it's interesting to now actually see the person and actually be able to talk to you because I always just see you work. I just see the product.
Yeah.
So thank you for taking time out and actually being here with me today.
Oh,
So
sure
that means
thing.
a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you know about R.E.S.E.T? Some, a little, nothing?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Because
Okay.
you had a chance to be on a Pull Up Experience podcast. You kind of touched on it.
Yeah.
I know it's a wellness and healing kind of practice for your, your therapy sessions.
Yes. And so I'm happy that you're open to this. I posted it on Facebook and I was like, who wants it? And you were the first one. I was like, boom. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is great. And then literally after you, like 10 other people were like, can I do it? I'm like, no, they mad. So I'm happy you're here. And also thank you for also committing to the work and also supporting my work as well.
Oh, yeah.
So this is new for me. This is the first time I'm going to be doing a live demonstration. So people are going to either this is going to work or I've been lying this entire time. So I don't know. We'll find out. So
gonna see.
So we're going to find out.
Okay.
So first things first, I want to just make sure you have a moment to breathe. So I'm going to play this music real quick and just have a moment to play. So get yourself relaxed, sit how you want to sit. You want to lay down, just sit for a second. I'm going to do it for about maybe like 5 minutes, if that. Just focus on your day, focus on everything you've been doing, okay?
Sound good.
All right. Put this right here. So allow yourself to breathe. Allow yourself to be still. Allow yourself to just see yourself in fullness. Think about your breath and what it means to you. Give yourself the chance to feel seen. A deep breath in. Okay. As you slowly come back, I just want to give you a chance to check in with your body. What did you notice in your body?
Calmness. Yeah, calmness for sure.
Calmness. Okay. Good. I know before we got started here, you were filling out this wellness survey. So, for those of you that may not know, this is a wellness assessment survey that allows me to see the healing modalities of how Alien actually experiences his day-to-day life from a lifestyle point of view. So you fill this out, and then at the end, we actually create a conclusion, like a total of each healing modality to see where the energy is high, low, or similar to the other ones. So we get to see his life in 8 different ways. So before we get into anything, we want to do a survey first. So when you were filling this out, what did it feel like having to be asked these questions?
I'm like, okay, it's a basic thing that I kind of seen like, okay, it sounds familiar. Let me make sure I read this again. So I kind of actually slow down and take my time. Like, let me actually think about, all of this and how it all affects me. So
Yeah. I love how you said how it all affects me, because people only see their lives typically in 1 or 2 different ways. And this is 8 different ways that actually completes that.
yeah.
So I'm so glad that you see that right. This is going to be a good session. You're going to do
Oh
great.
yeah.
So let's get to it. So the first thing we do is go through the healing modalities.
Okay.
So in the physical health, right, it's the input and output of your body. You had 18. So the total is it's pretty high. So it's either you get up to 20. So you had 18 for that. For mental emotional health, you have 18. So those are your highest, right? But then in environmental, you have 15. So environmental is like the way you root yourself, the way you see yourself in different spaces.
Yep.
Your spiritual health is also 15, which is how you make meaning and purpose out of your life. Then you have family health, which is 13. So it's not just genetics, but it's about how you relate in your family, how you are involved in your family. Educational is your highest one, which is 19. Then your financial occupational health is 15. And then your social health is 13. So as you look at this, you can look at this first, and I'll get it back. What's interesting about the way these numbers are kind of formulated on the total?
Like how it's in order or just anything that stands
Yeah,
out?
just anything that stands out. You see like how some are 18, 2 are 18, 3 are 15, 1 is 19. That's the highest. What does that look like for you?
I kind of see harmony actually. Like I know like a lot of people say, oh, I'm balanced or I like to find balance. I believe more so in harmony than balance. And like you said, a couple 13s, couple 18s, some in the middle. So and then everything I felt I was truthful.
Yeah. So when you become a reset practitioner, when I look at this, what I see is that right now you are on a path of self-discovery. And in your path of self-discovery, with your educational health being the highest, it means that the way that you are outputting, you're pushing out material, content, work, right? And you're in the spaces that are beginning to actually come up. So environmental, spiritual, and financial, the space, the meaning, and the income that you're doing is all aligned. It means that they're all like where I'm at, what I'm doing, and what this mean to me are all in the same room together. Then while you're in there though, you're also working really hard. So your physical labor is like, I'm on the go, I'm doing stuff. So your output's really high. But also it means that your mental, emotional, how you manage stress is also high because you're juggling a lot. That's what lets me know. And then your social and your family are the lowest ones, which means that it's more about what do your relationships mean to you? So if you have to ask, like, would you say that your relationships are more like who I'm becoming with other people, or it's me reminding myself who I am to other people?
I want to say neither,
Okay.
because I think they're pretty much set in stone and, high level.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Because you having everything above tens lets me know that you're actively engaged with everything. So like most people they'll have like 6 or 7
Wow.
on some of these. So like you're like performing at a very high level right now. Is that what's kind of going on right now, especially with the summertime coming up?
Oh, definitely. Like people tell me, did you sleep today? Did you sleep last night? 'Cause like that was something I was lacking the most. So if I was on there, it'd probably be almost
Well,
at
that's
a 1
physical
or
health.
0.
The sleep and all that, that's why it's high though.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
just started, make sure I get in my rest, get in my sleep, taking breaks. So, it takes time though.
I love that. So the second two highest was the physical health, mental and emotional. So making sure that your mind and your body are aligned in harmony is gonna be what's gonna be like your saving grace in all this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And so you're learning to do that, which is why educational health is 19. So it's like you're learning how to navigate all this and doing it and applying it. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Okay, cool. Okay. So first things first then. So before we get to principle 1,
Okay.
I want to give me a brief narrative about why you came in today. What's been going on for you?
Well, I appreciate the work you do first and foremost, and then also the work that you do. And, any way that I can support you or, anything that you do, I know it's very positive and upbeat and meaningful. So if I could be a part of it, it's like, why not?
Awesome. I appreciate that. So for principle 1, repeat after me. All
Okay.
right? The action is never the reason.
The action is never the reason.
So I want you to go to a story or a time in your life that you feel like you were mentally obligated, but emotionally unequipped. Mentally obligated and emotionally unequipped. Take your time.
Mentally, emotionally unequipped. I think a lot of times, especially these last 5 years, going into what a lot of people call a 9-to-5 job.
Mm-hmm.
So just corporate jobs in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is understand going from that corporate and then living to yours. What was it that like felt imbalanced or not in harmony for you?
I knew I had a bigger purpose and, my bigger dreams that I wanted to accomplish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I felt like I was just limiting myself.
Okay. And as far as, this might be an easy answer for you, but, what do you feel like your purpose is?
Kind of changes yearly, but I would say ultimately just to get better each day.
Get better each day. I love that. Okay. And what do you feel like has been holding you back lately from doing that?
Even going back to the survey you had me filled out, I could say environment. Just not fully being in control of my environment at all times.
Mm-hmm.
I know that could affect a lot of things with me personally, just even how I think, how I move, and, even what you eat. So I think that's the biggest thing that affects me the most right now.
Cool. Awesome. So right now, we are. I learned alien's purpose, learning what might be a motive, what might be a purpose, what might be an emotional malignancy, and we're going to get to that. So I want to do an exercise with you. Okay.
Okay.
This is called a motive exercise.
Motive
So
exercise.
it's going to have to be something that you're going to finish the sentence, however, whatever comes to mind to you. Doesn't matter what it is, but just whatever comes to your mind, just say it. Okay? So you're going to finish the sentence.
Okay.
Ready? If I blank, then blank.
If I fall, keep going.
If I fall, then I keep going. Okay? If I keep going, then
If I keep going, I rise.
if I rise, then
If I rise, I will soar and keep soaring.
and if I soar, then
If I soar, then I won't be sore.
okay. So now I'm going to analyze this, and then we're going to figure out how he might be mentally obligated and emotionally equipped, and how it might be a barrier to his purpose of getting better. So, real quick. So what you said was, if I fall, then I keep going. If I keep going, then I rise. If I rise, then I'll soar. If I soar, then I won't be sore. All right. This is going to be tricky. You got me on this one.
Okay, okay.
Tough crowd. Tough crowd. Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
I love the way you analyze it and break it down.
Yeah, I'm breaking it down. Yeah, it's making me think like the cue music at this point. Like just cue music, like cue music. All right. My got steam coming from my brain right now. It's like okay. All right. So how you're mentally obligated, your mindset is if I fall, I won't be sore. That's weird, right? How does that make sense? If I fall, I won't be sore. What does that really mean? The action is never the reason.
Well, in the context, the action is never the reason.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where I kind of was going with it is a lot of people scared of failing or failure, but you have to fail if you want to succeed. So that was my kind of like definition for that.
Pause. That was amazing. Keep going. All right.
Okay. Well, that was kind of, but did that tie into the actions never the reason?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
That's where I was thinking too. So we're already aligned,
Definitely.
right? Normally I have to teach people this whole process, but you just cut like 10 minutes off of this entire conversation. See what happens when you do the work, y'all? When you do the work, that's great. Okay,
I
so
appreciate it.
So, kudos to you, man. So, that's the point, right? You actually hurt yourself more by not allowing yourself to fail and fall. And a lot of us in life are always working so hard to be successful that we actually hurt ourselves even more trying to be successful rather than accepting the failure and the movement that's needed. So, the mental obligation is learning that process. Now, the emotional unequipped part. Mm-hmm. If I keep going, then I will soar. Tell me about that.
If I keep going, eventually I will be incrementally progressing. I believe in up and forward progression. So.
Good. Cool. So, how did it feel just doing that quick exercise? Just understanding the mental obligation and the emotional.
Mental obligation and emotional. I want to say it was more mental than emotional for me.
Mm-hmm.
as the more you say, I'm trying to, pay attention to the more mental and emotional aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely more mental for me.
Yeah. It gets more. This is like the first principle, making sure that we understand that there's a mental life that you're living and there's an emotional life that you're desiring,
Right.
which then goes to second principle number 2. Repeat after me. Any unmet need
Any unmet need
results in irrational behavior.
results in irrational behavior.
Any unmet need results in irrational behavior.
Mm.
Right? So what this is about is understanding that we might be acting in a way that's outside of our health or our wellness or what's best for us because of something that we might be missing in our life. So what have you been going through in your life recently that maybe feel like an irrational behavior, but it's really you just need something to help at?
I could say it's business related. Um, when you put in your hours, your certain amount of hours, a lot of people say 10,000 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And, being in business, you have a certain price point. And,
Mm-hmm.
I had to second guess me. Is it the clients that I'm attracting are, because, it's just a disrespectful, like, oh, you're not worth that much or this and this and that. And
Mm-hmm.
so for me, it was just taking that time, taking a step back, like, is this really me or is it, the world changing or is this person or these people?
Mm-hmm.
Am I not being in the right environments and the right social groups or
Right.
so it's just a lot of analyzing on the back end.
Yeah. So the irrational behavior is you questioning your own worth in the situation, the space that you might be, environmental health, the relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you were 13, the lowest one in your wellness chart. And so if that's the lowest one, that's also the one that's also the most fleeting as well.
Right.
So what do you feel like you desire on how you want to feel seen?
Mm. Mm. It's a good question.
Take your time.
The thing is, I don't mind being seen, like you said, but in the introduction, you seen my work, or heard about me, heard my name, and seen my work, and we just finally sat down to talk and converse, which is true. So I don't mind being seen. That's never been the biggest thing for me. I'm always in the background. I'm always everywhere, mainly in the background, assisting. So that's a trick question for me.
Okay. It'll be very clear soon.
Okay.
So let's go to principle 3. Time is a resource
Time is a resource.
used for limitation or application.
Used for
Limitation
limitation
or
or
application.
application.
Right? Time is a resource used for limitation or application.
Okay.
What does that mean to you?
It could be time could be of a scarcity or abundance. We all have 24 hours. You make the most of how you use yours.
Mm-hmm.
There's no excuses.
Good. So in principle 3, we've learned time as something that's always fleeting, or it's always, we have time left, right? We got to make up time. You have to make up for something. You said we only have 24 hours.
All right.
Everybody has the same. So how people use it is based upon their relationship with themselves, typically. Not with what's around them, it's with themselves. So this deck is called a reset deck. So I made this deck. It's called a reset deck. R.E.S.E.T. Remove every saturation, embrace truth. And what this is going to help understand what you're saturated by, what you're saturated with. And we do this in principle 3 because we want to understand how you look at time in your life. So I want you to pick a card that stands out. Assist my lovely assistant. Can you help out with that? Thank you. Thank you. Yes, hand that. Thank you.
Thank you.
7 on the assist, y'all.
Yes, baby, 7. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Said 1.
Yep, just pick out one.
Just,
Okay, that's the one. All right. So when you look at this card, right? Okay. So this is the card, which is crazy that this is the one, right? So in this card right here,
wow.
I would like for you to tell me. Just look on the front. How does this thing relate to your life right now?
Going back to the scarcity and abundance of time, it shows balance to me.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mentioned before, harmony over balance. And even to break that down on the time, you can't always look at time as scarcity
Mm-hmm.
because you could multiply it, whoop, good catch, by the things you do.
Love that.
We can never get more or less. It's just a constant thing. Some people say that it's made up, which, yeah, some truth to that, but still, it will never change.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna read this to you then. So on the back of this card is actually words that I've created intentionally. I phrased the words differently to create an intrapersonal language. So
I love it.
the language is it's like an emotional level of speaking. So it's like we have words, we have sentences, but then inside the sentences there's actually relation in the word within that. And so I write it like this intentionally.
Okay.
So when weighing the options, ask yourself what is harder, now or later. Each moment you encounter will require a little more of you. Weighing the options requires an honest reflection of what you will believe. What does this mean? Look at it for yourself.
Okay. It's very interesting. When weighing the options, ask yourself what is harder, now or later. In the moment, I would say now, but as we constantly push things off, I would say later. It weighs much more because the more we don't, it could either add up or multiply or get worse. So if we don't take care of it now, like I even said to myself, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna just do it right now. I gotta send this email, just do it right now in the moment. All I gotta do is just do it right now, because if I don't do it now, I probably won't do it later. And then, the more you do it, it becomes a habit.
Yeah.
Each moment you encounter will require a little more of you. I like that. Each moment you encounter.
Because if you keep going, you will soar.
That's true.
Your words, not mine.
It is. I'm just taking it all in.
Yeah.
When the options require an honest reflection of what you believe.
So,
Wow.
with this awareness, knowing that you have these numbers, right? I would love to see how these numbers would change based upon that awareness. So that would be your side quest. I don't give homework, I give side quests. So
I love it.
I need you to go through these again, right? So like when you go home, like how can I adjust these numbers? How can some numbers go up? Some numbers can go down, like you said.
Right.
Limitation or application, also now or later. Later should have just as much value as now if you have the right intention. They're actually the same thing because time is a resource. So now and later is just a moment of experience, right? So I'm curious, how do you want to look at time knowing this awareness?
How do I want to look at time? Besides energy, the most valuable resource.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple as that.
Love it. So that's perfect timing. So, principle 4, repeat after me. Be everything, expect nothing.
Be everything, expect nothing.
So the meaning of this is we live a life of labels, right? Dad, coworker, son, all these words, right?
All right.
People that know you for your labels can only love you within that capacity. And then beyond that, there's this core value system, this moral value system where only you can believe them. They're your core principles. It really makes up who you are. But because we have labels, we have to kind of fit the personality of that label. And so sometimes people will love you limitedly. They may not see the fullness of you. They may not even respect the fact that, man, you see me here, but they don't see the fact that you have this over here. And so they only look at you from this spot, but never from over here, because that's just the world that they see you in. So these are all little worlds that they see you in. Mm-hmm. And so if you had 3 core values in the moral value system, give me like three words that would describe your moral value system.
A positive mindset.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's one.
Teamwork.
Teamwork or team player?
I say team player, teamwork.
Team player?
Yeah.
Okay.
And 3. Up and forward progress. Our progression is shorten it.
Progressive. So you're progressive. Okay. So in all these worlds, father, relationship, whatever it may be, you have to represent these 3 things. Or if anybody takes away your positive mindset, removes you from being a team player or challenges it, or takes away your ability to progress, they are not for your world. You have to go with the pace of your peace in this. So you have to find your pace in this. If somebody comes into your life and they challenge one of these 3, they are no longer in your pace. They can't run with you. A lot of times in life, we feel mentally obligated and emotionally unequipped to remove ourselves, to grow, to ask the questions, to ask the hard questions of worth. And then we start reacting, right, irrational behaviors because we have the unmet need of not feeling seen. Mm-hmm. But if we put time into our life as a resource, you can apply it in a way that represents and honors who you are. And a lot of times the labels that we live are typically disrespected. And so we get experienced by the limitedness, the limited feelings of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So what do you want people to learn about you?
Ooh, patience and be patient.
Patience and be patient. Why did that come up?
One, I had to learn patience. You know, and just looking at the world is loud, by the way, so I love my quiet time. But, you know, everything is fast paced. They don't slow down. Like even, you know, witnessing a car accident, getting off the freeway, somebody, you know, on my tail and then zooming around me. Once we got off the freeway, we seen them in a car accident. So it's like, wow, the world just needs to slow down and, you know, being patient with learning me because I'm a complex person. And, you know, I heard so many, you know, first judgment things, but just being patient and learning with me and talking with me and, you know, getting to know me, it could be beautiful.
I love that. So then we then get into self-mastery then. So self-mastery is your ability to maintain patience and to be patient, teaching people. So the whole point of self-mastery is that you don't let people learn you, you teach them who you are. Some of the most powerful people in the world, they don't let people learn them. They tell you who they are. No, they always say, trust someone the first time they act that way. They always say that. Mm-hmm. But on the other end, it's, well, are you controlling your own narrative? So the action is never the reason, right? So when you're involved in these different labels, these different relationships, there's a self-mastery question that needs to be asked to make sure that patience and to be patient is being honored so that your moral value system can be respected. What's the question you want to make sure you ask yourself to make sure you're being in an authentic space?
Is this affecting my peace?
Is this affecting my peace? Okay. And if you say yes, what do you do?
See how valuable it is to me, or what is the outcome of me just walking away from it? Because if I can walk away from it, I will.
A lot of people feel mentally obligated and emotionally unequipped to do that. Okay. So, based upon this, right, in learning this, I want to ask you real quick. Well, actually, let's go to principle 5 and I'll ask you this. So, principle 5 is purpose is the human compass.
Purpose is the human compass.
What does that mean when you hear that?
Whatever you set out to do in life, whatever you desire, whatever you're here for, that's your North Star.
Okay. And based upon that language, do you feel like your purpose is still get better each day? Or do you think it's something different?
For the most part, I think that is. There's a few others, but that's like the overall kind of arching. Wake up each day, just getting better.
So, based upon principle 1, 2, 3, and 4, learning the self-mastery question of, is this affecting my peace? The way that you reach within yourself is understanding that it's supposed to get better each day. Is that what you feel like your purpose is? That's how you align yourself back?
Well, not the world, but more so myself internally.
And speaking of internal, that's the whole point of principle 5, which is internal reciprocity. It's no longer reaching out for answers, it's reaching within. It's understanding that the world is moving, but your world is right with you. And a lot of times when people go through problems or traumas, they make their world everybody else's. They go into everybody else's world. They go into everybody else's story. They try to control other people's stories. They try to control how people are going to act because they need to be more powerful, or they think they're more power, right? Mm-hmm. And so if they learn to be patient, if you teach them to be patient and to be patient with you, they'll end up actually seeing themselves.
Reflection, yep.
Right. So based upon these 5 principles, how do you feel like you're going to maintain your boundaries with your purpose?
I could start to chart it, actually a physical chart, and have a checklist of things. And did I meet this? Did I progress in this area, in this area, in this area? Or if I, didn't meet this, and, I know it's something I need to work on, or it's something that's affecting me, especially if it's consistent.
Okay. So now that we went through all the 5 principles, the next step is understanding how to make the healing for you a lifestyle. And so we went through the 5. We didn't really talk about emotional malignancies because you already had a really strong awareness. So we didn't have to go through that. And so for me, it's going to be learning how to ensure that your purpose is a human compass. And so when you're moving throughout the day, asking yourself, is this affecting my peace? That's a way to check in with yourself because you wear many hats. You're around many people, many communities, environments. You have to learn what the pace of your peace is or the pace of your patience is because people are going to rush you based upon their demands. Mm-hmm. They're not worried about your quality. They're worried about their demands. So going through this, what do you feel like was the most aware thing and something that you already knew?
I kind of knew the aspect of time. The thing about the awareness would be more so the actions of others. You know, for the most part, I'm a being that don't let the outside or other people influence me. But teaching it, and especially, teaching like my daughter, that, because even, being in school, so much stimuli and other outside influences, then, bring it home, and that's something I had to deal with. And like, I could be at peace, but how do I teach her to be at peace, especially when, she's under me? So in a sense, that's affecting me.
Yeah.
So
I'm interested in seeing, and with the work that you're doing, it's going to bring that more to light too. Mm-hmm. So I really want to see what you do with this principle 3 and really like look at all the 8 healing modalities and really ask yourself, how do I want to show patience and be patient in this?
Okay.
That cool?
That sound good.
All right. I really appreciate you doing this today for me. What this does is begins a new step into the way we do therapy. Typically, we go with assessments and these tools and all this. But starting with this language, what it's going to do is cause a healing language to be divulged. So like next time I see you, we're just going to be talking about life. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to use the different principles in that moment, in that conversation, so that you can reference those back as a grounding. So all the stuff that's happening on the outside of your world, well, the action's never the reason. This person was talking crazy. They were acting crazy.
Yep.
What was their unmet need that caused an irrational behavior? What did they need, right? Oh my gosh, I was feeling I was rushing and all this thing. Well, time is a resource. What are we limiting? What are we applying? And then, man, I'm so upset with this happening. Well, does that fit your purpose? What's your purpose, right? And so we're learning how to ground with this language. Or what you're creating is a healing language. We usually speak in trauma language.
That's true.
So this is the first step into learning how to translate trauma into purpose, illness into wellness. So this is that bridge into this new healing lifestyle. So.
Wow, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for going through it. Was it difficult going through it?
It was like a Rubik's Cube, a puzzle. I like it though.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's literally the company symbol too.
Yeah, wow.
So that was perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you as well.
Yeah, be kind to yourself and heal always.
Hey, likewise. Appreciate it.